When criminals demand a ransom, they ought to have a strategy in place to keep the money safe. Hackers aren't immune to this. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For this video, we will discover how the FBI caught Darkside, the Bitcoin ransom hackers. But before anything else, please leave a like on the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell down below so you won't miss our videos. Without any further ado, let's hop on right to the video. Last month, cybercriminals who stole into and encrypted the Colonial Pipeline operator's digital information issued an all-too-common demand. Pay me for your data, or you will be locked out permanently. Ooh! Bitcoin was to be used to pay the ransom. Bitcoins are said to be the colored stones of hackers and terrorists since they are completely digital and difficult to detect. Computer ransom attacks were common before the development of Bitcoin, but they've increased in popularity since then. The interruption was initially destructive for Colonial Pipeline Co., with fuel supplies in eastern areas of the United States cut off and motorists forced to line for gas. On May 8th, CEOs paid a ransom of 75 Bitcoins, which was roughly $4.3 million at the time. The data was then technically opened and decoded, and the oil began to flow anew. But the trail of evidence did as well. The first transaction marks the beginning of a digital car chase for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which counteracts paying ransom. The FBI's San Francisco Cybercrime Squad knows something that many individuals don't. Every Bitcoin transaction can be tracked. They're kept in a publicly accessible shared database. Anyone may track the online activities for any crypto domain using easily available software. The FBI did exactly that, using a blockchain explorer, think of it as a cryptocurrency search engine, to physically follow the trail. When the cybercriminals, who the FBI identified as Russia-linked hacking gang Darkside, asked for a Bitcoin ransom, they had to provide their location. Any ransom or hijacking scheme's weakness is always getting the money, and this one was no exception. The FBI now had the location where 75 Bitcoins were transferred, as well as a search engine to follow activity at that location. This would be equivalent to delivering a package to a post office and having the feds camp outside waiting for the offender to pick it up in the old days. However, in the cyber world, transferring those Bitcoins to another address is a simple process. And then there was another. This is done to hide a trail and disguise the movement of funds, similar to how laundering is done. The FBI has confirmed at least half a dozen separate Bitcoin addresses used in the dissemination by May 27th. The majority of it, 69.6 Bitcoins in total, was then redirected to one final address. They had the security code for this last address in some way. A cryptographic system is used in most encryption. The public key is identical to an email address, and the private key is similar to a password. These passwords, on the other hand, are very long and close to impossible to guess. Since police agencies don't like to reveal their private information, it's unclear how the FBI attained the key to this hoard. It's possible that the FBI hacked the hackers and that someone else did and handed the key to the agency. Perhaps it was given to you by an informant. It's also possible that the final address belonged to a cryptocurrency exchange rather than the hackers. People who seem to think they have Bitcoin don't actually have Bitcoin, which is an often misinterpreted aspect of centralized exchanges. Instead, the Bitcoin is stored in an exchange's wallet like Coinbase, and the customer only possesses an IOU, because the private key is held by the exchange rather than the customer. The mantra, if you don't own your private keys, you don't own your Bitcoin. That's why over the years, thousands of customers have lost millions of dollars in cryptocurrencies as a consequence of exchanging hacks. The most notable of which was the Mt. Gox attack in 2014, which resulted in the Japanese company declaring bankruptcy. Transactions are required to obey regulations, which includes responding to requests for client information from government agencies. Coinbase, for example, received over 4,200 requests in 2020, with more than half coming in the second half. The FBI was responsible for 30% of the company's inquiry to the United States. To hand out the encryption information to a specific address, a trade may be needed. The whereabouts of bitcoins and who handed the FBI the secret key have not been reported. The details of how the FBI obtained the password aren't especially significant to the hackers. They appear to be making a more basic mistake in keeping their Bitcoin online in the first place. A hot wallet is a type of storage that can be accessed across a network for ease and to facilitate quick transactions. It is obviously subject to hacking. The Colonial Pipeline hackers were well aware of this whole thing, but for some reason failed to stick to the core principles of Bitcoin security. They're now much worse as a consequence of that. Let us know in the comment section down below. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.